I could replace you in an hour if I wanted. There's a line of men waiting for me, she said while ignoring my message and texting someone else. I said, then don't wait on my account. The next day, I closed every account with her name on it, from the gym to the streaming to the phone plan. She borrowed a friend's phone, panicking about all the cancellations. I texted back, sounds like a good time to try that line. I, 28, male, was sitting across from Amber at our favorite Italian restaurant when she said the words that ended everything. We had been together for 2 years. I paid for the apartment, the streaming accounts, her gym membership, the phone plan, the car insurance. Everything. She worked part-time at a boutique and talked about starting her own business someday. I supported that. I supported her. That night, I watched her scroll through her phone while our food got cold. She smiled at the screen, typed fast, laughed at something I could not see. I asked if everything was okay. She did not look up. I could replace you in an hour if I wanted, she said, still typing. There's literally a line of men waiting for me. I set down my fork. The restaurant noise faded. I looked at her face, lit by the phone screen, smiling at someone else's words while I sat there paying for a dinner she was not eating. I said, then don't wait on my account. She glanced up for half a second, rolled her eyes, and went back to texting. She thought I was joking. She thought I would forget by morning. She thought wrong. At the edge of my vision, I could see the future clearly. The gym visits I funded. The Netflix she watched all day. The phone plan that let her text other men. The insurance on the car I helped her buy. All of it was about to disappear. But I did not say another word that night. I just smiled, paid the check, and drove us home in silence. I met Amber at a work event 2 years earlier. She was bright, funny, and ambitious. She talked about opening her own online store. She had ideas and energy. I liked that. Within 3 months, she moved into my apartment. Within 6, I was covering most of her bills. She said it was temporary. She said once her business took off, she would contribute more. I believed her. The business never took off. She posted on Instagram about it sometimes, but the store stayed empty. She worked 3 days a week at a boutique downtown and spent the rest of her time at the gym, watching shows, or meeting friends for brunch. I did not mind at first. I made good money as a sales director. I could afford it, and she made me feel wanted. She posted pictures of us. She introduced me to her friends as her boyfriend. She said I was generous and sweet. But over time, the gratitude faded. She stopped saying thank you when I paid for dinners. She stopped asking if I minded when she added a new subscription. She just expected it. And I just kept paying. The phone thing started about 6 months ago. At first, it was just a few texts here and there during dinner. Then it became constant. She would sit on the couch next to me, laughing at her screen, and never show me what was so funny. When I asked, she said it was just her friends. Just group chats. Just memes. But friends do not make you smile like that. Friends do not make you ignore your boyfriend for an entire meal. I started noticing other things. She dressed up more on days I was not around. She came home later from the gym. She mentioned names I had never heard before, then got defensive when I asked who they were. One night, I saw a text preview on her lock screen. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. I asked who it was. She grabbed the phone, deleted the notification, and said it was her coworker planning a shift swap. The coworker she had never mentioned before. I did not push. I did not accuse. I just filed it away in the back of my mind and kept watching. By the time we sat down at that Italian restaurant, I already knew something was wrong. I just did not know how wrong until she said those words out loud. Until she told me I was replaceable while texting someone else on my dime. The weeks before the restaurant confrontation, I had started keeping track. Not in a notebook. Not in some obsessive spreadsheet. Just mentally cataloging the disrespect. She used my Netflix login to watch entire series I had never heard of. Then she complained when I wanted to use the TV for a game. She went to the gym I paid for every single day, but never had time to cook dinner or clean the apartment. She said she was tired from her 3-day work week. Her phone was always face down now. Always. On the table, on the couch, on the nightstand. If it buzzed and I was nearby, she would grab it fast, like I might see something I was not supposed to. One morning, I woke up early and found her already awake, sitting in the living room in the dark, smiling at her phone. When I walked in, she jumped and locked the screen. She said she could not sleep. She said she was just scrolling Instagram. But Instagram does not make you jump when your boyfriend walks into the room. I did not say anything. I just made coffee and went to work. At the office, I ran numbers for a client presentation. I closed a deal worth 6 figures. I came home proud, ready to tell her about it. She was on the couch, Netflix on, phone in hand. I told her about the deal. She said, "That's cool," without looking up. I stood there for a full 10 seconds, waiting for her to ask a follow-up question. She did not. She just kept scrolling and half watching some show I did not recognize. I went to the bedroom and laid down in the dark. That was the moment I realized I was not a boyfriend anymore. I was a bank account with a heartbeat. The next Friday, she asked if I could Venmo her $200 for a girls' night. I asked what happened to her paycheck. She said rent, and her car payment took most of it. I did not mention that I paid the rent. I did not mention that I paid her car insurance. I just sent the money. She went out that night in a new dress I had never seen. She came home at 2 in the morning, smelling like tequila and someone else's cologne. She said they went to a club. She said some guy bought their table drinks. She said it was no big deal. I said okay, but I did not believe her. And I started planning. I logged into our shared accounts and made a list. Gym membership, $89 a month under my credit card. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Spotify Premium, all under my email and payment. Phone plan, $120 a month for 2 lines. Car insurance, $310 a month with her as the primary driver on my policy. Over 2 years, I had spent tens of thousands keeping her comfortable while she slowly checked out of the relationship. And now she was telling me I was replaceable. Now she was texting other men on the phone I paid for. I did not get angry. I got systematic. And I waited for the right moment. The restaurant was her idea. She said we never went out anymore. She said we needed to reconnect. I agreed. I made a reservation at the Italian place she loved. I picked her up after her shift at the boutique. She spent the entire car ride on her phone. When we sat down, she ordered an expensive wine without asking if I wanted any. She ordered an appetizer, an entree, and dessert. She barely touched any of it. She was too busy smiling at her screen. I tried talking to her. I asked about her day. She said it was fine. I asked about her business idea. She said she was still working on it. I asked if she wanted to plan a trip soon. She said maybe, and went back to typing. I watched her for a while. She was pretty. She knew it. She used it. And she had gotten so comfortable using me that she did not even bother to hide it anymore. Finally, I asked, "Is everything okay? You seem distracted." She did not look up. She just kept typing, smiling, and said, "I could replace you in an hour if I wanted. There's literally a line of men waiting for me." The words hung in the air. She said them so casually, like she was commenting on the weather, like I was nothing. I put my fork down. I looked at her. She still was not looking at me. She was looking at her phone. At someone else. Someone in that line, maybe. I said, "Then don't wait on my account." She glanced up, annoyed. "What?" I said, "Don't wait on my account. If there's a line, go ahead. Try it." She rolled her eyes. "God, you're so dramatic." Then she went back to texting. I did not say another word. I ate my food slowly. I flagged the waiter, paid the check in cash, and stood up. She followed me to the car, still on her phone. The drive home was silent. She did not notice. She was too busy laughing at something someone else said. When we got home, she went straight to the bedroom. I heard the shower start. I sat on the couch and opened my laptop. I pulled up the gym account, the streaming services, the phone carrier, the insurance company. I did not do anything that night. I just looked at the accounts, imagining what would happen when I pulled the plug. She thought I needed her. She thought I would tolerate anything because I was too nice, too generous, too afraid to be alone. She was wrong. And tomorrow morning, she was going to find out exactly how wrong. Update 1. I woke up at 6. Amber was still asleep. She never woke up before 10 on Saturdays. That gave me 4 hours. I made coffee. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. I opened a document and made a checklist. Then I started working through it, one account at a time. First, the gym. I logged into the membership portal. Her name was listed as a secondary user under my account. I clicked Remove User. A confirmation box popped up. Are you sure you want to remove Amber Hayes from this membership? This action cannot be undone. I clicked yes. The screen refreshed. Her name disappeared. Next, streaming services. Netflix first. I went to account settings, manage profiles, and deleted hers. Then I changed the password. I did the same with Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Spotify. 5 accounts, 5 password changes, all her profiles wiped clean. Then the phone plan. This one was trickier. I called the carrier's customer service line. A rep named Monica answered. I explained I wanted to remove a line from my family plan. She asked for the phone number. I gave her Amber's. She asked if I was sure. I said yes. She said the line would be disconnected within 2 hours. I thanked her and hung up. Last, the car insurance. I logged into the policy dashboard. Amber was listed as the primary driver on my plan. I clicked Remove Driver. A warning appeared. Removing this driver will result in loss of coverage for any vehicle they operate. I clicked Confirm. Her name vanished from the policy. By 8:30, it was done. Every account with her name on it, gone. I closed the laptop and poured another cup of coffee. At 10:15, I heard her alarm go off in the bedroom. She hit snooze twice. At 10:45, she finally stumbled out, hair messy, still in her pajamas. She grabbed her phone off the charger and frowned. That's weird, she said. My phone isn't working. I looked up from my coffee. What do you mean? Like, I have no service. It just says no signal. She walked closer to the window, holding her phone up like that would help. I shrugged. Maybe the carrier's having issues. She tried restarting it. Still nothing. She looked annoyed. Whatever. I'll deal with it later. I'm going to the gym. I did not say anything. I just watched her go back to the bedroom to change. 20 minutes later, she came out in gym clothes, grabbed her keys, and left. I waited. 30 minutes after that, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Amber. They said my membership is canceled. Did you forget to pay the bill? I texted back. No. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then, what do you mean no? I replied, I mean I didn't forget. I canceled it. No response for 5 minutes. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. What the hell, Ethan? Her voice was shrill. Panicked. Why would you cancel my gym membership? You said you could replace me in an hour. Figured you could replace the gym membership too. Silence. Then, are you serious right now? This is insane. You can't just cancel my stuff. It wasn't your stuff. It was my account. My credit card. My membership. I just removed you from it. I'm borrowing Sarah's phone right now because mine doesn't work. What did you do? Removed you from the phone plan. I could hear her breathing hard. You're being childish. You're being expensive and disrespectful, and I'm done paying for it. She hung up. I set my phone down and went back to my coffee. Update 2. The texts started coming in fast after that. All from different numbers. Her friends' phones. Her coworker's phone. Even a number I did not recognize. Probably someone at the gym. You need to fix this right now. I have work tomorrow. I need my phone. This is abuse. You can't just cut someone off like this. I did not respond to most of them. But when she sent, we need to talk. I'm coming home. I replied with one line. You said there's a line of men waiting. Sounds like a good time to try that line. Good luck finding someone to pay for everything. She showed up an hour later, using a key I had given her months ago. I was sitting on the couch. She stormed in, face red, eyes wild. You can't do this, she said. Half that stuff is mine. I looked at her calmly. None of it is yours. Check the account names. Check the credit cards. Check the contracts. It's all under my name. You were just a user. And now you're not. I live here. Your name isn't on the lease. You're a guest. And if you don't calm down, you're a trespasser. She stared at me, shaking. I can't believe you're doing this over one comment. It wasn't one comment. It was 2 years of comments. 2 years of being ignored. 2 years of paying for everything while you shopped around for someone better. I'm just giving you what you wanted. Freedom to find that line of men. She tried a different approach. Her voice softened. She sat down next to me. Ethan, come on. I didn't mean it like that. I was just frustrated. You know how I get. I do know. That's why I'm done. So you're breaking up with me? You broke up with me the second you said I was replaceable. I'm just making it official. She stood up, pacing. What about my phone? I need my phone for work. So get your own plan. I can't afford that right now. Then ask one of the men in that line. Her face twisted. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. You used me. You disrespected me. And you thought I would just take it forever because I'm nice. But nice doesn't mean stupid. She grabbed her bag and walked to the door. Before she left, she turned back. You're going to regret this. I shook my head. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. She slammed the door. I sat there in the silence, feeling lighter than I had in months. Update 3. Over the next few days, I heard from mutual friends. Apparently, Amber was telling everyone I had financially abused her. She said I cut her off without warning. She said I was controlling and manipulative. She said she was the victim. I did not defend myself at first. I just let her talk. But when one of her friends, Michelle, called me directly to yell at me, I calmly explained the situation. She said you could replace me in an hour while texting another guy on my phone plan. So I removed her from my accounts. That's not abuse. That's a boundary. Michelle went quiet. Then she said, she told us you guys had a fight and you punished her by cutting off her access to everything. We didn't have a fight. She insulted me. I responded by stopping payment on services I was providing. If she wants those services, she can pay for them herself. Or she can ask one of the men she said were waiting in line. She really said that? Word for word. Michelle sighed. I'll talk to her. But Amber did not stop. She posted vague things on Instagram. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Some people will do anything to hurt you when they don't get their way. Financial abuse is real. I did not respond. I did not post. I just kept living my life. Then, 2 weeks later, I got a text from her. From a new number. Probably a prepaid phone. I'm sorry. I messed up. Can we talk? I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Part of me wanted to see what she would say. I replied, there's nothing to talk about. I know I hurt you. I was wrong. I miss you. You missed the accounts. That's not fair. It's accurate. She sent a paragraph after that. About how she had been scared of commitment. About how she pushed me away because she did not feel good enough. About how she realized what she lost. I read it twice. Then I blocked the number. I found out later, through Michelle, what happened to Amber after we split. She moved back in with her mom. She could not afford her own place on her boutique salary. She had to downgrade her car insurance to liability only because she could not afford full coverage. She stopped going to the gym because the cheap ones did not have the classes she liked. She complained about not having Netflix. Her mom told her to get a job that paid better. She tried dating. She posted pictures with different guys. None of them lasted more than a few weeks. Turns out, the line of men waiting was not as long as she thought. Or maybe they were not willing to pay for everything like I had. Michelle told me Amber asked about me once. Asked if I was seeing anyone. Michelle said she did not know. The truth was, I was not. I was just focused on myself. On my work. On my peace. I got a promotion 3 months after the breakup. Senior sales director. It came with a raise and a corner office. I celebrated by taking a solo trip to Colorado. I hiked. I read. I sat in silence and felt grateful for the space. One night, I got a message request on Instagram. It was Amber. The message was long. She apologized again. She said she understood now what she had. She said she wanted another chance. I stared at the message for a full minute. Then I deleted it without responding. Some bridges are not meant to be rebuilt. Some people are not meant to come back. 6 months after the breakup, I was doing better than I had in years. I was sleeping well, eating better. I had energy. I was not checking my phone every 5 minutes wondering who she was texting. I was not questioning my worth. I was not paying for someone else's life while mine sat on pause. I ran into her once at a coffee shop downtown. She was with a guy I did not recognize. She saw me and looked away fast. I ordered my coffee, paid, and left. I did not feel anger. I did not feel satisfaction. I just felt nothing. And that felt right. A coworker set me up on a blind date a few weeks later. Her name was Rachel. She was a graphic designer. She paid for her own coffee. She asked about my job and actually listened to the answer. She laughed at my jokes. She did not check her phone once during dinner. At the end of the night, she said, I had a really good time. I'd like to do this again. I smiled. Me too. We did. And it was easy. No games. No tests. No feeling like I was an ATM with a personality. Just two people enjoying each other's company. I never told Rachel the full story about Amber. There was no point. That chapter was closed. But sometimes, when I paid for dinner and Rachel thanked me genuinely, or when she offered to cover the next one, I thought about how different things could be with the right person. Amber texted me one more time, about 8 months after the breakup. I heard you're seeing someone. I'm happy for you. I hope she knows how lucky she is. I did not respond, but I did think about it. About how she said I was replaceable. About how I had spent 2 years being taken for granted. About how the moment I stopped allowing it, she fell apart. The truth is, I was not irreplaceable. No one is. But I was valuable. And I was done being with someone who could not see that. I deleted the message. I blocked her number. And I moved on with my life, lighter and freer than I had ever been. Some people think love means sacrifice. And maybe it does. But sacrifice should not mean becoming invisible. It should not mean funding someone else's life while they shop for your replacement. It should not mean sitting across from someone at dinner while they text another man on your dime. I learned that the hard way, but I learned it, and I never forgot it again. Years later, a friend asked me if I ever regretted how I handled things with Amber. If I thought I was too harsh. If I should have given her another chance. I thought about it. About the gym membership, the phone plan, the streaming accounts, the car insurance. About the 2 years I spent being generous to someone who mistook generosity for weakness. Then I thought about the silence that followed. The peace, the freedom, the ability to build a life with someone who valued me. I looked at my friend and said, not for a second. Because the best revenge is not anger. It is not cruelty. It is not some grand public confrontation. The best revenge is boundaries. It is self-respect. It is the quiet act of walking away from someone who does not value you and never looking back. Amber said I was replaceable. She was right. But so was she. And she found out the hard way that replacing a paycheck is a lot harder than replacing a person. I replaced her in less than an hour. I just did it with peace instead of another relationship. And that made all the difference.